All right, and we're back for part 2 of the build series. Wrong top. This is for the Transtec laser frame. And I actually put the Vista down here underneath the stack just because the arms were gonna get in the way of where the battery leads go. So we just kind of flip-flop the way it should go, but it should be fine. It seems pretty sturdy, but still loose enough for the gyro to receive, you know, appropriate data. We're using the KU2 ESC combo here. I got it wired up, not the motors yet. I've been second guessing and going back and backtracking on which motors, and I'm kind of leaning more towards these Team Edition 2205.5 motors. Just because it has a higher KV and it has, you know, a little bit lighter performance. It's a 1922 KV, so you know, it'll be all right. We're probably gonna go with these team motors just because the KV on the other motors, I believe this was 1700 KV, so we're gonna go with that. It should be fine. It's a nice light quad. And yeah, let's put a battery in and see how she goes. All right, I got the smoke stopper all hooked up, and I got a buzzer on here so you'll be able to see wire the motors up next. Yep, works just fine. All right, we'll put the motors on and we'll keep on going. So I got one motor on and I got all the connectors soldered up. And there's a lot of ways you can screw this up. I managed to do 2 of the maybe 10 I can think of. So for the motor, I forgot to put this little plastic cap on here. So I had to unsolder the connector and then resolder it. So no big deal, took maybe a second. For the other side, you see all the connectors are just kind of in the bag. And you need a male to female, not necessarily a male to male. So I had to redo and put a whole nother connector on there. Shit happens. This is the second time I've done this, so I thought I was an expert. Obviously not quite, but it's coming along. So we're back and we got all the motors on. I went ahead and plugged the flight controller back in. So I can also need to untangle this little guy right here. I don't like the wires touching the other stuffs and whatnots. So let's get that back on the correct side. There we go. Put the flight controller back on. I'll button her up here in a minute. I just want to do the short saver test real quick, make sure it's all good before we plug her into beta flight. So let's do that. I got a Nebula Pro Nano camera to switch out with this, what is this Run Cam Phoenix camera, which isn't bad, but we're gonna be racing, so we need something with lower latency. So I took the horn off of my 533 frame thinking it was gonna work, but the spacing in the front is way too big. So I have a black horn that seems to work, but I have to cut this extra TPU lip off. So no big deal, just a little bit of customization is what we'll call it. All right, so let's get this plugged in and see how it all works. All right, moment of truth. All right, we're good. All right, so we got the Transtec Lightning all built up. I buttoned up the hatch, and let's see how much it weighs. I don't have props on, so we'll have to get some props, but let's see. The drone itself will weigh in at 287.5. All right, that's fine. And then I got the Ethics S5 props. I think this is a 4-inch pitch prop. So be 307.0. So that plus some, you know, some nuts. Whoa, there's another nut there. Oop. There we go. There we go. Okay, so just under 310 grams. So this should be pretty good. All right, so we got the new build. This is the Transtec Lightning with a half naked Vista. And I got the Nano Pro Micro in there. Nebula Pro Nano, there it is, there's the right camera. These are the Ethics S5 props, and these are a new prop I just got. I got it in one of those crates, FPV crate boxes, so I'm gonna test those out. So let's go for a quick hover, make sure everything's tuned, ready to go, motor directions are right, and then we'll go for a flight right after that. Seems to be working just fine. All right, let's go for a flight. So it's been a while since I've flown back here, so I'm gonna do a quick couple back and forths, and if you look closely here, I'll slow it down. You'll see these sticks I put in the yard. They're like gates for me. You know, it's shared property back here. So I'm gonna do some quick back and forths, really just kind of loosen up, knock the rust off, so to speak. These props, I actually kind of like these props. They're performing pretty well. They have a good look to them. You know, not too distracting on the camera. These are the Ethics S5 props, 4-inch pitch. I think they're just fine, even pretty decent for racing. This is a stock Betaflight tune, so I'm gonna have to go in here and, you know, maybe tighten everything up. It looks a little loose, especially when I'm turning. There's a little bit of wobble in there when I get off of the throttle. It almost looks like prop wash, but it's happening at times when, you know, there shouldn't be prop wash. So it's probably just a tuning issue, maybe some more D-gain or push everything up. So I'm running this at 25 milliwatts, you know, race mode. So you'll see some fuzzing up when I get to the outer edges of the range here. But all in all, I think this turned out to be a pretty decent quad. The Transtec Lightning frame, I don't know how popular it was when it first came out, but you know, I chose everything to be a little bit lighter on this frame. You know, 20 by 20 stack instead of a 30 by 30. I took off some of the heat sinks on the Vista, went with a lighter camera, lighter motors. So I think the total flying weight was 462 or 463 with this 5S battery. Oh, I decided to run it on a 5S, not a 6S battery, just because, you know, these are 1922 kVs and I haven't flown like, you know, this in a while, so I didn't want to push it all the way up to 6S just yet. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the flight and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.